Miracle was just a regular nurse, broke, tired, and almost homeless. But when she was assigned to the hospital's most feared patient, she didn't know her whole life was about to change. Not through money, not through fame, but through love. Real love. Watch till the end. The cold wind brushed against Miracle's face as she stepped out of the hospital. It was already dark, and the street lamps glowed softly around her. She looked at the time on her phone, 11:07 p.m. Her shift was over, but her day wasn't. She wrapped her arms around herself and walked toward the bus stop. Miracle had been a nurse for almost 3 years. She worked at Zankli Private Hospital in Abuja. Her job was to care for sick people, but sometimes she didn't even have time to care for herself. As she waited for the bus, she pulled out her small phone and called her mother back in Enugu. The phone rang once, twice, then her mother answered. "Miracle, my child. You called. Is everything okay?" Miracle smiled a little. Just hearing her mother's voice made her feel better. "I'm okay, Mama. How are you? Are you resting?" she asked. There was a short cough before her mother replied. "I'm managing. My body feels sore. Your siblings are already asleep. Thank you for the money you sent last week. We were able to pay their school fees." "Tell them to study hard," Miracle said. "I'm sorry I haven't sent more. My salary this month wasn't enough. But I'll try again next week." Her mother's voice was gentle. "Don't worry, my dear. I'm just sad you never keep anything for yourself. You work so hard. Please don't fall sick." Miracle closed her eyes to stop the tears. She wanted to tell Mama how tired she was, how she hadn't eaten much, how she had nowhere to sleep tonight. But she didn't want to worry her. "I'm okay, Mama," she whispered. "How's Chika? And Ada?" Her mother's voice turned sharp. That one is another matter. His girlfriend's people are rushing marriage. She's pregnant. I told them we don't have money yet. Your brother is still in school. I don't know what he was thinking." Miracle sighed. "Let's not worry about that tonight. I'll try to help. I have to go now, Mama. My bus is here. I'll call you again soon." "Okay, my daughter. God bless you." The call ended. Miracle entered the old bus and found a seat by the window. She leaned her head against the glass. Her eyes were heavy with sleep. All she wanted was to lie down. But when she reached her street in Nyanya and walked up to her apartment, she froze. Her door was chained shut. Thick chains wrapped around the handle, locked with a big padlock. "What is this?" she whispered. She ran to her landlady's door and knocked. "Madam Ngozi. It's Miracle. Please open." After a few minutes, the door creaked open. Madam Ngozi stood there, holding a fork with a piece of meat on it. "Ah, why are you disturbing me? I'm eating." "Ma, why is my door locked with chains?" Miracle asked. Madam Ngozi rolled her eyes. "You've not paid your rent in 3 months. I warned you. I said if you don't pay, you'll leave. Aba, you thought I was joking." "Please, Ma. I sent the money I had to my family. Just give me 1 more week, I'll pay everything," Miracle begged. Madam Ngozi crossed her arms. "I've heard that before. I'm not running a charity. Your things are outside. If I see them there tomorrow, I'll burn them." Then she slammed the door. Miracle just stood there. She felt like falling to the ground. She walked slowly to the hallway, and there it was. Her life, packed in old bags and a torn box. A small pillow. A faded blanket. A black nylon bag filled with clothes. A mattress that had lost its shape. She sat beside her things and looked up at the night sky. Her lips trembled. Her chest felt tight. "Where will I go now?" she whispered. Tears streaming down her face. Miracle's voice cracked. "Amaka. I've been evicted. I'm sitting on the street with all my things. I don't have anywhere to sleep. Please, can I stay with you?" There was silence on the line. Then Amaka said quickly, "Don't move. I'll come with Daddy now to pick you up. You can't stay out there alone. Just wait for me." "Thank you, Amaka. I'm so sorry. I didn't know what else to do," Miracle cried. "Stop saying sorry. Just wait, I'm coming. About 30 minutes later, a noisy old pickup truck stopped in front of her. Miracle saw Amaka in the passenger seat, waving. She ran to hug her tightly. Thank you. Thank you so much, Miracle whispered. Come, let's carry your things, Amaka said. Her father, Mr. Ease, helped them load everything into the truck. Then they drove off. When they reached Amaka's house in Lugb, the lights were dim. Miracle stepped inside and saw 3 children sleeping in the living room. My siblings, Amaka whispered. She led Miracle to her small room. The fan spun slowly. The mattress was small, but soft. Have you eaten? Amaka asked. Yes. I ate something at the hospital, Miracle lied. We still have bread if you want, Amaka offered. No, I'm okay. I just want to lie down, Miracle said quietly. As soon as she sat down, she started crying. Amaka, I'm so tired. My life is full of problems. I don't even know what peace feels like anymore, she said, hiding her face in her hands. Amaka came close and rubbed her back gently. It's okay. Cry if you need to. You're not alone. You have me. My family is your family now. And for the first time in a long time, Miracle felt safe. The next morning, Miracle woke up to the smell of fried eggs. She sat up slowly. Her eyes were still a little swollen from crying last night. You're awake, Amaka said with a smile, entering the room. She was already dressed in her nurse uniform. Good morning, Miracle mumbled, rubbing her eyes. Come and eat. Mummy made breakfast before leaving for her shop. You can take your bath after eating, Amaka said. Miracle nodded. She followed Amaka to the kitchen and saw a plate of yam and egg sauce on the table. Mr. Ease sat by the corner, sipping tea and reading a newspaper. Good morning, Miracle, he greeted kindly. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for helping me yesterday, Miracle said softly. You're welcome, my dear. You're like my daughter now, he replied. After breakfast, Miracle had a quick bath, dressed up, and joined Amaka outside. They both walked to the bus stop to head to Zankli Private Hospital. As they sat in the bus, Amaka glanced at Miracle. You okay? I'm fine, Miracle replied, even though her heart was heavy. She was still thinking about rent, her family, and how tired she always felt. At the hospital, the day started as usual. Morning rounds, checking patients' vitals, and updating charts. Miracle tried to stay focused. But not everyone made her job easy. As she walked into the nurse station, she saw Tai-Tai Olayemi standing by the cabinet, arms folded. Tai-Tai looked at her with a smug face and said loudly, Ah, the famous landlord Evicti has arrived. Hope you slept well, under the bridge. A few nurses giggled quietly. Miracle felt her heart drop, but she didn't react. She picked up a patient's chart and pretended not to hear. Tai-Tai wasn't done. So sad. You work so hard, yet can't pay small rent. What a pity. Miracle took a deep breath, then turned to her. Tai-Tai, please, can I have the file for room 208? Tai-Tai raised one eyebrow. You're giving me orders now. Miracle kept calm. I asked politely. Tai-Tai hissed and turned away. Go and get it yourself. We're not mates. Miracle didn't argue. She walked to the shelf and collected the file herself. Just then, Amaka entered and saw what was going on. Miracle, did Tai-Tai just insult you again? She asked in a low voice. Miracle nodded slowly. It's okay. I'm used to her now. You shouldn't be, Amaka replied, clearly angry. She behaves like she owns this hospital just because her aunt is the head nurse. Before Miracle could respond, a voice cut through the hallway. What are you two whispering about? Tai-Tai asked, walking up to them. You think I can't hear you? Amaka didn't back down. She smiled. Oh, you heard. Maybe you should report to your aunt again. That's what you do best. Tai-Tai's eyes narrowed. I can get you both fired. Miracle sighed. Tai-Tai, we're here to work. Please let's just do our jobs. Keep talking like a saint. We'll see how long you last here, Tai-Tai said, turning sharply and walking away. After the drama, Miracle continued with her duties. She checked blood pressure, helped patients walk, and gave out medications. At lunch, she and Amaka sat together at the hospital canteen. "You really have a strong heart, Miracle. I'd have slapped her if she said that to me," Amaka said, biting into her puff-puff. Miracle chuckled. "Slapping her won't pay my rent." They both laughed. Then Amaka leaned forward. "You know Chief Johnson, right?" "Who?" Miracle asked. "Chief Adewale Johnson, the big man in VIP room 3. Billionaire, hotel owner, very rich, but very rude." Miracle shook her head. "I've heard people whisper his name, but I've never seen him." "Ah, count yourself lucky. Tai entered his room last week and came out with a bruise. He threw a cup at her because the water was warm instead of cold." Amaka said, her eyes wide. Miracle blinked. "He sounds scary." "Everyone is afraid of him. He talks anyhow and treats people like trash. They say he's dying. Cancer. But still very stubborn," Amaka explained. Miracle sighed. "Let me just keep praying I don't get assigned to him." "Same here," Amaka agreed. Later that day, Miracle and Amaka changed into their uniforms for night shift. As Miracle was about to go check on a patient, Nurse Bisi, a senior nurse, walked up to her. "Miracle, Matron wants to see you in her office." Miracle frowned. "Me? Why?" "She didn't say. But she asked for you directly," Nurse Bisi replied. Amaka, standing nearby, looked worried. That's how it starts. That's how I got sent to care for Chief Adewale. Good luck." "Oh." Miracle felt her heart jump. She swallowed hard. "No, it can't be that," she muttered, but her hands were shaking. She climbed the stairs slowly. Her palms were sweaty. When she reached Matron Olaomi's office, she knocked softly. "Come in," came the sharp voice. Miracle stepped inside. The matron looked up from her desk. "Nurse Miracle, you are being transferred starting tonight. You will now care for Chief Johnson Adewale." Miracle's mouth fell open. "Ma, please, can," she was still talking when Matron Olaomi raised her hand. "It's not up for discussion. Chief Adewale specifically asked for you." "Me?" Miracle asked, shocked. "But how? I don't even know him." "He said he remembers you from the hallway. He wants you. And that's final." The matron handed her a file and waved her off. Miracle walked out of the office with shaking legs. "How did this happen?" she whispered. She looked down at the file. It read, "Chief Adewale Johnson, stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Palliative care only." Miracle held the file tightly. Her next patient was the man everyone feared. Miracle stood in front of the VIP room on the 4th floor. Her hands were cold. She could hear her own heartbeat. "Just breathe," she whispered to herself. She slowly opened the door and stepped inside. The room was quiet, large, and clean. A soft light came from the window. There were 2 big chairs, a shelf with books, and a clock that ticked gently. Chief Adewale Johnson was lying in bed. He looked much older than she expected. His skin was pale, his arms were thin, and he had tubes connected to him. But his eyes were sharp, and watching her. "You finally came," he said, his voice deep but tired. Miracle walked closer. "Good evening, sir. My name is Miracle. I'll be your nurse from now on." "I remember you," he said. "You're the girl who helped me walk to the bathroom last week." Miracle blinked. "You remembered that?" He nodded slowly. "You didn't talk too much. You just helped. I liked that." Miracle gave a small smile. "I just wanted to make sure you didn't fall." Chief Johnson looked away, staring at the window. Miracle picked up the file and checked his chart. "Sir, I'll just check your blood pressure now, and give you your evening meds." He didn't reply, but he didn't stop her either. She worked quietly, gently wrapping the cuff around his arm, writing the numbers, and preparing his tablets. When she handed him a glass of water, he drank without a word. After giving him his medicine, she wiped his forehead with a damp cloth. He was sweating a bit. "Are you feeling hot, sir?" "No. Just tired." She tucked in the bedsheets properly and made sure the foredrip was working. Is there anything else you need? She asked. He shook his head. As she walked to the door, he spoke again. Miracle. She turned around. Yes, sir. Don't treat me like glass. I may be sick, but I'm not fragile. She nodded. Okay, sir. I understand. Then she stepped out and closed the door softly behind her. That night, in the locker room, Amaka rushed to Miracle. How did it go? Did he shout? Did he throw anything? Miracle sat down on the bench and shook her head. No. He didn't even raise his voice. He just looked tired. Amaka blinked. Hey, are you serious? Maybe he's pretending. Maybe, Miracle said. But something about him felt sad. Amaka looked at her friend closely. Just be careful. They say he's very rich. Rich people are unpredictable. The next day, Miracle returned to his room. Chief Johnson was sitting up, looking out the window. She greeted him. Good morning, sir. He nodded. Morning. She placed a tray beside him. Here are your medicines, and some tea. I also brought pap and akara from the kitchen. The dietitian said it's okay for today. He stared at the food and said nothing. Then slowly, he picked up a spoon and ate a little. Miracle used the time to tidy his bed and arrange his water flask. When she finished, she sat in the chair beside the window. They both sat quietly for a while. Finally, he spoke. You don't talk much. Most nurses like to chat about nonsense. Miracle smiled. If you want me to talk, I can. But I don't want to disturb you. He said. What's your full name? Miracle Chidinma Okonkwo. Where are you from? Enugu State. But I live here in Abuja. Your family? I have a mother, 3 younger siblings, and 1 troublesome brother who just got his girlfriend pregnant, she said, laughing a little. To her surprise, Chief Johnson gave a short laugh too. So you're the responsible one. I try to be, she said. It's not easy, but I'm the eldest. I don't have a choice. Chief Johnson looked at her carefully. You're different, Miracle. She shrugged. I don't think so. I just do what I have to do. He turned his eyes back to the window. I had a daughter once, he said suddenly. Miracle stayed quiet, listening. She died when she was 6. Heart problem. I wasn't there when she passed. I was in a business meeting. Miracle's heart sank. I'm sorry, sir. Don't be. I've lived with the pain for over 30 years. Miracle looked down at her hands. She must have loved you a lot. He smiled faintly. She did. I just didn't show it enough. And now, I'm here. Alone. With all my money. And nothing to do with it. After that, the room went quiet again. Later that evening, as Miracle was about to leave, Chief Johnson said one more thing. Thank you for not treating me like a monster. She turned and smiled. You're not a monster, sir. You're just hurting. And then she left. The next few days, Miracle continued taking care of Chief Adiwale Johnson. Each time she entered his room, he seemed a little more relaxed. He no longer frowned when she walked in. He didn't snap at her. In fact, sometimes, he even greeted her first. One afternoon, while she was giving him his medication, he asked her quietly, Do you believe people can change? Miracle looked up, surprised. Yes, sir. I believe anyone can change, no matter their age. He gave a tired smile. I used to be very harsh. Business was my whole life. I didn't care how people felt. Now, I lie in bed all day, and I keep thinking, what did I gain? Miracle placed the water cup beside him. Maybe God kept you here to help you see that. You still have time, sir. Chief Johnson looked at her with kind eyes. You speak with sense. How old are you again? 27, she replied. You carry yourself like someone older. You've seen too much for your age. Miracle smiled gently. Life teaches you fast when you're the breadwinner. That evening, when she returned home, Amaka was waiting in the sitting room. "So how's the billionaire doing?" Amaka teased as she sipped a glass of Zobo. Miracle dropped her bag and sat on the edge of the couch. "He's not what people think. He's just broken and lonely." Amaka raised her eyebrows. "Is this the same man who almost hit Tai with a shoe?" "Yes," Miracle said, chuckling. "But maybe he needed someone who treated him like a human being, not a big man." Amaka nodded. "You always see good in everyone. You should be careful, though. Some people don't deserve your kindness." "Maybe," Miracle said, lying back on the couch. "But if I don't show kindness, who will?" The next day, when Miracle entered Chief Johnson's room, she found him awake and staring at something in his hand. It was an old photo. "Good morning, sir," she greeted as she began checking his full bag. He didn't answer at first. Then he held up the photo and said, "This was my daughter. Her name was Tolani." Miracle stepped closer and looked. The picture showed a smiling little girl with big eyes and two puffed pigtails. She wore a pink dress and was holding a small teddy bear. "She's beautiful," Miracle whispered. Chief Johnson stared at the photo. She loved singing. She would sing loudly, even when her voice cracked. "I didn't like noise. I used to shout at her to stop. But now, I would give anything to hear that voice again." Miracle felt a lump in her throat. She reached out and touched his shoulder gently. "You did your best, sir. I'm sure she forgave you long ago." He looked at her, tears in his eyes. "You think so?" "I'm sure of it." Later that afternoon, as she helped him sit up in bed, he said something unexpected. "Miracle, can I ask you for a favor?" "Yes, sir." He cleared his throat. "Before I leave this world, just for one day, will you pretend to be my daughter?" Miracle blinked. "Sir. I just want to feel like a father again. Just once. No money, no fame. Just simple moments. A walk in the park. Maybe ice cream. A few laughs. That's all." Miracle was quiet for a long time. Then she nodded slowly. "Yes, sir. I'll do it." "Really?" he asked, his voice cracking. "Yes. But not because of money. Not because of pity. Just because. I believe everyone deserves love, even if it's pretend," Miracle said softly. Chief Johnson's eyes watered. He looked away quickly, wiping his face with the edge of his blanket. "Thank you," he whispered. That night, Miracle lay on her bed in Amaka's room, staring at the ceiling fan. Amaka turned on her side. "You're quiet tonight. Something on your mind?" Miracle nodded. "Chief asked me to pretend to be his daughter for one day." Amaka sat up. "What? Why?" "He said he just wants to feel like a father again. He said he misses that feeling," Miracle explained. Amaka was silent for a moment. "That's sad. And sweet. Are you going to do it?" "Yes. I already agreed." "You have a good heart, Miracle. Just be careful. Emotions are tricky," Amaka said softly. "I know," Miracle replied. "But if it gives him peace, even just for a day, then it's worth it." And with that, she turned over and closed her eyes, her heart full of both hope and sadness. The sun was just rising when Miracle reached the hospital. She entered Chief Johnson's room with a smile. He was already awake, dressed in a clean white shirt and soft brown trousers. His driver stood nearby, waiting quietly. "Good morning, sir," Miracle greeted. Chief Johnson turned to her with a calm smile. "Morning, my daughter." Miracle paused. Then she smiled wider. "Good morning, Daddy." Chief Johnson chuckled quietly. "You said it perfectly." A few minutes later, they got into a black SUV. The driver started the engine and pulled out of the hospital gate. Miracle looked out the window as the streets of Abuja passed by. Markets opening, children in school uniforms, people rushing to work. Their first stop was Jarby Lake Park. When they got there, the driver helped Chief Johnson out carefully. Miracle held his other arm. They walked slowly along the path beside the water. The air was cool, and birds chirped in the trees. "I used to come here with Tolani," Chief Johnson said, smiling faintly. We would feed the ducks. She always laughed when the birds fought over the bread. Miracle looked at the calm lake. It's beautiful here. Not as beautiful as her laugh, he replied. They sat on a bench and watched the water. Chief Johnson sighed. Thank you for coming with me. This means more to me than you know. It's my pleasure, Daddy, Miracle said softly. Next, they visited Cold Stone Creamery in Wuse too. Chief Johnson insisted they both get ice cream. Miracle chose vanilla with caramel syrup. He picked strawberry. They sat near the window of the ice cream shop, enjoying the cool breeze from the fan. I haven't had ice cream in 15 years, Chief Johnson said, taking a small spoonful. Seriously? Miracle asked, eyes wide. Yes, he replied. I always said I was too busy for small things like this. Now look at me, begging for a chance to enjoy life. Miracle smiled and took a spoonful of her own. You're enjoying it now. That's what matters. They both laughed. It wasn't a loud laugh, but it was warm, real. After the ice cream, they stopped by Roving Heights bookstore. Chief Johnson used to love reading with his daughter. He walked slowly through the shop, using Miracle's arm for support. Tolani loved fairy tales, he said. She would read them aloud and act like the princess. Miracle touched the edge of a book and smiled. You must really miss her. Every day. His voice was soft. He picked out a small book with a blue cover. This is for you, he said, handing it to her. Me? Yes. A gift. So you'll always remember this day. Miracle opened the book and saw something written on the first page. To Miracle, the daughter who helped me smile again. Chief Adewale Johnson. Her hands shook slightly. Thank you, Daddy, she whispered, blinking back tears. After the bookshop, they drove to Jarby Lake Mall. Inside, Chief Johnson walked slowly beside her, stopping in front of a boutique. Let's go in. Pick something for yourself. Miracle shook her head. No, sir, Daddy, I don't need anything. I know you don't. But let me feel like a father again. Just once, he said. She nodded, and together they picked out a soft floral gown, a brown handbag, and a pair of flat shoes. At the counter, the shop assistant asked, Is this your daughter, sir? Chief Johnson looked at Miracle with a proud smile. Yes. She's my daughter today. Miracle turned away quickly so they wouldn't see her cry. As the sun began to set, they got back into the car and headed back to the hospital. The road was quiet, and golden light shone through the windows. Miracle glanced at Chief Johnson, his eyes were half closed, and his breathing was slower. She held his hand gently. Daddy, are you happy? She asked in a whisper. He opened his eyes slowly and smiled. More than you know, my child. I thought I'd never feel this way again. Thank you for giving me one more day to live like a father. Miracle's throat tightened. I'll never forget today, she said. Neither will I. When they arrived at the hospital, Miracle helped him into his room. She fixed his pillow, arranged his blanket, and sat beside him one last time. I'll be heading out now, she said quietly. Chief Johnson reached for her hand. Thank you, my daughter. God sent you to me. Miracle knelt beside his bed. And you've given me more than you know. Thank you for trusting me. He smiled and stroked her hair like a father would. Sleep well, Daddy. Sleep well too, my child. Miracle stood, gave him one last smile, and walked out slowly, her heart full of love and tears in her eyes. The next morning, Miracle arrived at the hospital early. The air felt cool, and the sky was still grey. She was smiling as she walked through the hallway. The day before had been beautiful. Her heart was full. She wanted to check on Chief Johnson and tell him thank you again, for trusting her, for allowing her to be part of something so special. Amaka was waiting by the nurse's station when Miracle walked in. You look fresh this morning, Amaka said, grinning. Miracle laughed. Yesterday was something else. I still can't believe it happened. I told you, you'd touch that man's heart, Amaka replied. Just then, Matron Olaomi walked up to them. Her face was serious, eyes soft. Miracle, she said. Please come with me. Miracle blinked. Is anything wrong, Ma? The matron paused before answering. It's about Chief Johnson. Miracle followed her quietly down the hallway. Her heart was beating faster now. When they reached the 4th floor, Matron Olaomi stopped near his door. Miracle, she said gently, Chief Johnson passed away in his sleep last night. The nurses found him this morning. He looked peaceful. Miracle felt like the floor disappeared under her feet. No, that's not true, she whispered. I'm sorry, the matron said softly. Miracle shook her head slowly. We just spent yesterday together. We talked. We laughed. He was fine. Her legs felt weak, and tears began to gather in her eyes. She turned away from the matron and walked to the door. She pushed it open. The room was quiet. The bed was made. The chair was empty. The book he gave her still sat on the table. He was gone. Miracle stepped inside, sat on the edge of the bed, and touched the pillow. Then she broke down. Her shoulders shook as she cried into her palms. She didn't even notice when Amaka came in and sat beside her. Amaka didn't say a word. She just held Miracle and let her cry. Later that day, Miracle attended Chief Johnson's wake at his home in Asakoro. The mansion was big and beautiful, but very quiet. Only a few people were there, some older men who said they were his friends, a few staff from the house, and the driver who had taken them around the day before. The white casket sat in the middle of the room, surrounded by flowers. A large photo of Chief Johnson as a young man stood nearby. Miracle walked slowly to the casket. She looked down at him, his face was calm, lips closed as if he was resting. Goodbye, Daddy, she whispered. Thank you for letting me be your daughter. She placed a small bunch of orange tulips beside the coffin, his favorite. The day of the burial came quickly. It was a sunny afternoon at Gudu Cemetery. Miracle stood near the grave with her hands held tightly in front of her. Amaka stood beside her. As the casket was lowered into the ground, Miracle let her tears fall. The priest said a few quiet prayers. People dropped flowers into the grave. Miracle stepped forward and dropped hers last. Rest well, sir, she said, her voice cracking. As she turned to leave, she felt a hand on her shoulder. It was the driver. He talked about you every day, the man said. He was happy in his final days because of you. Miracle nodded. He changed my life too. A few days later, back at the hospital, a rumor started spreading. Some nurses whispered that Miracle had only gotten close to Chief Johnson because of his money. Some even said she had an affair with him to gain his favor. The whispers were loudest in the canteen. And of course, it was Tai Tai who led them. I told you all, Tai Tai said with a smirk. That girl doesn't fool me. 1 week with a rich man, and she became his angel. Please. Miracle overheard it all. She sat quietly, holding her food tray, pretending not to hear. Amaka was furious. Miracle, say something, she whispered. Are you just going to let her lie like this? It's not worth it, Miracle replied. Let people say what they want. The truth doesn't need to shout. Amaka's eyes burned. Tai Tai is evil. One day, she'll go too far. That evening, while Miracle was arranging supplies in the stockroom, a nurse came to call her that someone is looking for her. When she reached the reception, a man in a neat white shirt and black trousers stood outside. Good evening. Are you Nurse Miracle Okonkwo? Yes, she answered slowly. I'm Barrister Tunde Afolayan, Chief Adiwale Johnson's lawyer. May I speak with you? She nodded and stepped aside. They sat down inside. The lawyer opened his folder and pulled out some papers. I'm here to inform you that Chief Johnson left you something in his will. Miracle's eyes widened. Sir, I don't understand. The lawyer continued. He left you a portion of his estate, farmland in Cuge, a vacation house in Joe's, and a large sum of money in his account. Miracle was speechless. Why would he do that? She whispered. The lawyer smiled gently. He wrote, Miracle gave me peace. She treated me like a father, not a patient. This is my thank you. Miracle covered her mouth, tears filling her eyes again. I don't know if I deserve this, she said. He believed you did, the lawyer replied. Miracle sat on the edge of her bed at Amarka's house, still staring at the documents the lawyer gave her. She hadn't slept well. She kept thinking about Chief Johnson's will, about the land in Cuge, the vacation home in Joe's, and the money he left behind. I still don't believe it, she whispered. Amarka walked into the room carrying a small cup of tea. You've been quiet since that lawyer came. Is it true? He really left you all that? Miracle nodded slowly. Yes. But I feel strange about it. Amarka handed her the tea and sat beside her. Strange how? Like, maybe I don't deserve it. I didn't do anything special. I just cared for him the way I would care for anyone, Miracle said. Amarka leaned her head on Miracle's shoulder. That's why he gave it to you. Because you loved him when he had nothing to offer. That's rare. Back at the hospital, things were not so quiet. Tai was still talking. She sat in the nurse station with 2 other nurses, whispering loudly on purpose. Now I believe what I suspected. She knew what she was doing. Pretend to be a nurse, get close to a dying man, and boom, land and money, Tai said, flipping her pen between her fingers. One of the nurses giggled nervously. Tai, are you sure? Ah, of course. Open your eyes. People like Miracle are smart, act sweet, but deep down, it's all a plan, Tai added, smiling like she had won something. Later that afternoon, Amarka stormed into the stockroom where Miracle was working. I'm tired, Miracle. I can't keep quiet anymore. Miracle looked up from the shelves. What happened? Tai has gone mad. She said you tricked Chief Adewale Johnson for money. She even said you. Amarka stopped herself. Said what? Miracle asked, now fully alert. Amarka clenched her fists. She said you used your body to make him change toward you. Miracle's heart dropped. She stood still, staring at the wall. What did I ever do to her? She whispered. She's just bitter, Miracle. And jealous. You made a difference in someone's life. She can't stand it, Amarka said. Just then, the stockroom door opened. Matron Olaomi stepped in. Her face was serious. Behind her, Tai. What's going on here? The matron asked. Nobody spoke. I heard there's a rumor about Nurse Miracle and Chief Johnson, she said. Tai folded her arms, pretending to be calm. Matron, people are only saying what they saw. It's suspicious, he left her all that money. It's not normal. Miracle stood up slowly. Ma, I never asked him for anything. I didn't even know he wrote a will. I just cared for him like any patient. Amarka stepped forward. Matron, I have proof. I recorded Tai yesterday. She admitted she made it up just to destroy Miracle's name. Tai gasped. What? That's a lie. Amarka took out her phone and played the recording. Tai's voice filled the room. She thinks she's special. I'll spread the story myself. Let's see if anyone will want her here after this. Matron Olaomi's face darkened. She turned to Tai. You're a disgrace to this profession. You tried to destroy someone's reputation because of envy. This hospital is not your playground. Tai tried to speak, but the matron raised a hand. No more words from you. You'll receive a suspension letter by tomorrow. If I hear one more thing, you'll be dismissed entirely, even if you're my niece. Tai looked like she wanted to cry. But Matron Olaomi walked out. So did Amarka and Miracle, quietly, and with their heads held high. That evening, after they returned home, Miracle was sitting outside going through her phone when Amarka joined her with a small plate of fried plantain. You handled everything with calm, Amarka said. Even I was shaking. What's the point of shouting? God fought for me, Miracle replied. I'm proud of you, Amarka said, offering her a piece of plantain. I just wish Chief Johnson was still here. I wish he saw everything, Miracle murmured. Amarka looked up to the sky. Maybe he does. Maybe he's smiling somewhere. They both sat quietly, watching the sky. A few weeks later, Miracle stood in front of a small flower shop in Wuse, the Abuja sun gently warming her skin. The sign above the door read, Tolani Blooms. In memory of those who loved quietly. It was the name she chose for her new business, after Chief Johnson's daughter. Inside, colorful flowers lined the shelves: roses, tulips, lilies, hibiscus. The air smelled sweet. Soft music played from a small speaker. Amaka walked in, holding a tray of meat pies. "You still haven't eaten, entrepreneur," she teased. Miracle smiled. "I was just thinking about him. About everything." She sat down on the stool behind the counter. "Do you think he'd be proud?" Amaka looked around and nodded. "He'd be more than proud. You used the money to build something beautiful. Something kind." With part of the money Chief Johnson left, Miracle gave some to Amaka's family in appreciation for their help and support when she had no one to turn to. She paid off all her family's debts. She bought a house in Lugb where her mother and siblings now lived comfortably. She opened Tolani Blooms and a small restaurant just beside it. But even after everything, she still returned to work as a nurse. "I didn't become a nurse for money," she told Amaka. "I became one because I wanted to heal people. That hasn't changed." That Saturday afternoon, Miracle dressed in a simple white gown and visited Gudu Cemetery. She carried a bouquet of orange tulips. When she reached the grave, she knelt beside it. She brushed some dry leaves away from the headstone and placed the flowers gently on the soil. Then she pulled out the small book Chief Johnson gave her, the one he bought from the bookstore. Inside the front cover, she read his message again. "To Miracle, the daughter who helped me smile again. Chief Adewale Johnson." Her eyes filled with tears. But this time, they were soft tears, not heavy ones. "I came to thank you, Daddy," she said. "I thought I was just helping a patient. But you gave me more than anyone ever has. You gave me hope and love." She closed her eyes for a moment and whispered a quiet prayer. "Wherever you are, I hope you found Tolani. I hope you're walking in that park again, watching the river, eating ice cream. I hope you're happy." A breeze blew past, brushing her cheeks. She smiled. "I miss you." She stood up, dusted off her dress, and walked slowly away, feeling light, feeling whole. Back at the hospital, when she entered, nurses were whispering again, but this time, not bad things. "That's Miracle Okonkwo," one of them whispered. "The nurse who helped Chief Adewale Johnson find peace." Some of the patients even requested her by name. "I want Nurse Miracle to check on me, please," one elderly woman said. Miracle would always smile humbly. "I'm just doing my job," she'd say. That evening, as she and Amaka locked up the flower shop, Amaka turned to her and said, "Do you know that when you changed someone's life, and in the end, yours will change too?" Miracle looked up at the sky. The stars were just beginning to appear. "I didn't change it alone. God helped me. And so did you." They both laughed, locking arms as they walked home. Miracle learned something that season of her life. That love doesn't need blood to be real. That being kind, even when no one sees, always comes back in ways you never expect. And that sometimes, family is not who you're born to, but who your heart chooses. Sometimes, the greatest rewards in life don't come from chasing success, but from showing love when no one is watching. Miracle gave kindness without expecting anything in return. What she received was more than money, more than land. She received the love of a father she never had. Moral lessons. This story teaches us that true kindness has power. You may not see the reward immediately, but love given freely always finds its way back. Whether it's caring for a sick stranger, helping a friend, or simply being there when someone feels alone, you never know whose life you're changing. So keep doing good. Even when no one claps. Even when it's hard. Because sometimes, like Miracle, you'll find family in the most unexpected place. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share with your friends and loved ones.